Mark Occhilupo.
It's spiritual. Every time I touch the ocean, I bless myself, and the ocean comes to blesses me, really. It just feels really natural being out there, and when I'm not out there, it feels unnatural.
At 58 years old, Mark Occhilupo is doing something no one expected. He's making a comeback that's turning heads all over the surfing world. The same guy who once tore through waves in the 80s with raw, unfiltered power is back in the water, and somehow, he's still got that same fire. It's not just impressive, it's unreal, and what he pulls off now might just be more jaw-dropping than anything he did in his prime. In 1985, a young surfer from Cronulla, Australia took the surfing world by storm. His name was Mark Occhilupo, but you probably know him as Occy, and his aggressive, powerful surfing style earned him the nickname Raging Bull. Occy, now in his late 50s, still looks like he was built for the ocean. Broad shoulders, sun-bleached hair, and a deep tan earned from decades in the water. He pulls on a vibrant, retro-style rash guard, stamped with the Billabong logo, a nod to the brand that's backed him since he was just a teenager. It's clear the fire hasn't faded.
Yeah, I went on tour straight out of school. I finished year 10, and I made it. I made it onto the big stage. I just qualified. From 16 till about 21, I was on tour. I went everywhere, all the way through Europe, through France, Japan, Hawaii. It was just life in the fast lane, really.
Back in the day, Occy wasn't just another kid on a board. He was a force. While surfers like Tom Curran were praised for their smooth, flowing style, Occy brought something different: raw, aggressive power. He charged waves with the intensity of a prizefighter, throwing massive turns, slashing through walls of water, and pushing the limits every time he paddled out. One of his most iconic moments came during the 1985 OP Pro at Huntington Beach. The surf was perfect, clean overhead sets rolling in non-stop. The crowd on the sand was electric. Occy and Curran went wave for wave. But when Occy dropped into a beast of a wave, hacked it to pieces, and launched off the lip, the place went wild. He landed clean, threw up a fist, and made it known. The Raging Bull had arrived, and he wasn't backing down from anyone. At the 1985 OP Pro, Occy defeated Curran in a thrilling showdown that showcased the contrast in their styles. While Curran's surfing was precise and refined, Occy's was pure aggression and energy. But the story didn't stay golden. By the early 90s, Mark Occhilupo's life had unraveled. The pressure of fame, competition burnout, and substance abuse took a heavy toll. He walked away from the tour in 1988 at just 22 years old, leaving behind one of the most promising careers in surfing. In the years that followed, headlines painted a grim picture. Occy enters rehab. Surfing's Raging Bull falls from grace. He became unrecognizable, overweight, withdrawn, and far from the explosive athlete fans once idolized. The surf world assumed his story was over, but in 1999, he shocked everyone. At 33, an age considered late in pro surfing, Occy returned to the World Championship Tour with a vengeance. He was lean, focused, and more determined than ever. That year, at the notoriously heavy Bonsai Pipeline in Hawaii, he paddled into a monster wave, disappeared inside the barrel, and came flying out with the spit, arms raised, roaring like the raging bull he'd always been. That wasn't just a good ride, it was a symbol. Occy wasn't just back, he was all the way back. Against all odds, he climbed the rankings, beat the best, and won the 1999 ASP World title, 14 years after his breakout. It remains one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history, not just surfing, sports, period. The moment Mark Occhilupo lifted the 1999 World title trophy over his head, tears rolling down his face, was more than a victory. It was redemption. After years of struggle, he'd fought his way back to the top, surrounded by friends, family, and fans who never stopped believing in him. Now, more than 20 years later, Occy hasn't slowed down. He still surfs with the same energy that made him a legend. To honor his legacy, Billabong, his sponsor since 1983, is releasing the Raging Bull Collection, a tribute to the man, the myth, and the golden era of surfing he helped define. The collection features bold, eye-catching designs straight out of the 80s. Vibrant board shorts, retro rash guards, and graphic tees reflect the raw attitude Occy brought to every wave. It's not just surfwear, it's a statement. Unfiltered, fearless, and totally authentic. Occy, dressed head to toe in the new gear, pulls up to the JS Surfboards factory in Oceanside, California. He grabs a few fresh boards, signs autographs, and shares laughs with longtime friends and surf fans gathered outside. To launch the line, Billabong and JS Surfboards are hosting a blowout event at the JS Garage in Oceanside. It's more than a promo. It's a celebration of Occy's story and the culture he helped shape. There'll be music, food, giveaways, and a chance to meet the Raging Bull himself. It's not just about looking back. It's about keeping that spirit alive for the next generation of surfers and beyond. Inside the garage, the vibe is electric. Surf videos play on the walls, pizza and sushi are passed around, and in the center of it all is Occy, holding court and swapping stories with his signature grin. There will be free food, a raffle for JS Surfboards and Billabong gear, and the premiere of a new surf film starring the man himself. It's all going down on Thursday, May 15th at 6 p.m. A flyer for the event flashes on the screen with the address 305 Wisconsin Avenue, Oceanside, California. But this party is about more than just nostalgia. It's a celebration of the enduring spirit of surfing and the way our heroes continue to inspire us, even as they enter their later years. Present-day footage of Occy surfing his home break in Australia. His style is a bit slower, a bit more relaxed, but the fire is still there. He boosts a huge floater and comes down grinning, reveling in the pure stoke of riding waves. Occy's journey proves that it's never too late to rise again. After setbacks, doubts, and years away from the spotlight, he fought his way back with grit and heart. Today, he's still out there, surfing, smiling, and inspiring everyone who watches him. His passion hasn't faded. If anything, it burns brighter with time. The Raging Bull isn't just a nickname, it's a mindset, a symbol of resilience, power, and refusing to quit, no matter what life throws at you. Occy's still charging, and his story reminds us all to keep pushing forward, no matter where we are in the ride.
On the beach, you know, we're friends and everything, but when we're in the water, you know, you know, he's just another guy with a jersey on, and you know, you can't hold back. You know, you got to do what you got to do to win. I mean, that's why we're here to win, right?
My name's Rob Machado, and surfing is my natural high.
Wow, this is cool. This is going to be really cool.
Rob Machado lives a life that is truly out of this world. With his wild curly hair and smooth style, he changed what surfing could be. When others chased trophies and fame, Rob found a deeper connection with the ocean. He walked away from contests to protect the environment and design boards for everyday surfers. This is the story of a man who followed his heart and created something truly special. Born in Sydney, Australia in 1973, Robert Edward Machado seemed an unlikely candidate to revolutionize surfing. At age 4, his family relocated to Cardiff by the Sea, California, the place that would shape his identity. Ironically, the man known for his liquid grace on waves was initially terrified of the ocean. "I was scared to death of the ocean as a kid," Rob admits with his characteristic easy smile. Growing up in a stable, supportive family set Rob Machado apart from many of his future peers. His parents were passionate about surfing and encouraged his early love for the ocean, providing an environment that nurtured his balanced approach to life. This childhood, shared with his brother Justin, planted seeds of calm confidence that would later define his surfing style. By age 8, Rob conquered his fears and found his calling in the waves of Southern California. His natural talent emerged quickly. At just 13, he claimed the U.S. Amateur Surfing Championships in the Menahune category, an early sign that something special was brewing in the young surfer with the distinctive curly hair. The early 1990s marked a revolution in surfing, and Rob stood at its center. Alongside friends Kelly Slater, Shane Dorian, and Taylor Knox, he formed part of what became known as the Momentum Generation, a group of young surfers whose progressive approach would forever transform the sport.
In 84, turned pro in 91. I've been a pro surfer ever since.
Under filmmaker Taylor Steele's lens, these surfers brought raw energy and technical innovation to audiences worldwide. While his peers often powered through waves with aggressive force, Rob developed something different, a flowing, artistic approach that made difficult maneuvers look effortless. There was magic in watching Rob surf, says Taylor Steele. He didn't just ride waves, he painted masterpieces on them, making the impossible look effortless. In 1992, Rob won the OP Pro Junior and turned professional. The following year, he conquered the Professional Surfing Association of America Tour, joined the ASP World Tour, and was named Rookie of the Year. His meteoric rise had begun.
I never dreamed of winning a Pipe Masters. I was like number 8 in the world. That was my first year on tour, and people were like, "Oh yeah, he's a small wave guy, like he's scared and blah, blah, blah." I remember I caught a big wave and I ate crap on it, you know, and it was in the contest.
For 9 seasons, Rob remained among surfing's elite on the World Championship Tour. His goofy-footed style, right foot forward, became instantly recognizable. Smooth, flowing lines that earned him the nickname Mr. Smooth, and comparisons to Hawaiian legend Jerry Lopez. By 1995, Rob nearly claimed surfing's ultimate prize, finishing second in the world rankings. That same year produced perhaps the most iconic moment of his competitive career, the famous high five with Kelly Slater during their semi-final heat at the Pipeline Masters. In the heat of competition, with a world title potentially on the line, Rob paddled over to Slater in the channel and casually slapped his hand. This spontaneous gesture of friendship became legendary, interpreted by some as the moment that cost Rob a world title, and by others as the perfect expression of his character. "Everyone thinks it was a terrible decision that I high-fived Kelly," Rob reflects. "I actually love the stories around it. Some people say it cost me a world title. You're all tripping. That heat was already Kelly's." Whether strategic or spontaneous, that high five symbolized something essential about Rob Machado: his unwillingness to let competition overshadow connection. By 2001, despite 12 championship tour victories and consistent top rankings, Rob's competitive career faced a critical juncture. After breaking his hand and missing several events, he appeared before his peers seeking an injury wildcard to continue on tour. The request was denied. "We've got airplanes flying into buildings, Gotcha goes bankrupt, I break my hand, miss events, finish dead last, and get voted off tour," Rob summarizes with characteristic perspective. This moment, potentially devastating for a career athlete, instead became the catalyst for something new. Freed from competitive constraints, Rob embarked on a journey of rediscovery, one that would lead him to unexpected horizons. The early 2000s marked a profound shift in Rob's life, both personally and professionally. His marriage to his first wife, Patu, ended in 2007, sending him into a period of soul-searching that took him to the waves of Indonesia. For 6 months, he surfed and journaled his experiences, raw material that would later become The Drifter, a 2009 film directed by Taylor Steele. "The film was therapy," Rob acknowledges. "I was working through things, figuring out who I was beyond competition." This period of introspection coincided with Rob's evolution into one of surfing's first prominent free surfers. Professional athletes who build careers based on creativity and exploration rather than competitive results. In stepping away from structured competition, Rob discovered a new kind of freedom in the water and in life. In 2004, a seemingly small observation sparked a major life mission. While visiting his old elementary school, Rob noticed students refusing to use water fountains, instead relying exclusively on disposable plastic bottles. Man, don't you remember being perfectly happy drinking out of hoses, the sink, water fountains, whatever, Rob recalls thinking. But fast forwarding to 2004, that's just not what people were about. It was single-use plastic water bottles, and it was set in stone. That's when I started the foundation. The Rob Machado Foundation began with this simple insight and grew into a significant force for environmental education and ocean conservation. Through water bottle filling stations in schools, distribution of reusable bottles, beach cleanups, and educational programs, Rob's foundation has prevented over 1.5 million plastic bottles from entering landfills. In a perfect world, I would love to see every kid coming to school with a reusable water bottle, he explains. Creating that perfect little ecosystem that they're just comfortable with it becomes part of their life. This environmental commitment represents Rob's deepest values, caring for the ocean that has given him so much and ensuring future generations can experience its wonder. Like the ocean itself, Rob's creative energy flows in many directions. Music has been a lifelong passion, leading him to form the Surfers Band with Kelly Slater and Peter King in 1998. His collection of guitars rivals his quiver of surfboards, including vintage treasures like a 1968 Martin acoustic and a 1973 Fender Stratocaster. From performing with Pearl Jam in Queensland to jamming with Jack Johnson, Rob's musical journey parallels his surfing, always seeking authentic expression and flow. This artistic sensibility extends to his love of various musical styles, from Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles to Bob Marley and Mississippi John Hurt. Rob's creativity found another outlet in surfboard design. After years riding boards shaped by legends like Al Merrick at Channel Islands, he began exploring his own concepts. The story goes that he once borrowed one of Kelly Slater's boards, a 510 Channel Islands model, and never returned it. So inspired was he by its design. Working with manufacturers like Firewire, he's created innovative designs, including the Go Fish, Seaside, and Mashup, boards that prioritize accessibility and enjoyment for everyday surfers over competitive performance. "I'm just trying to make surfboards that make people happy," Rob explains with characteristic simplicity. "If people are going out and riding waves and coming home with a smile on their face, their wives should thank me." Today, Rob lives with his second wife, Sophie Villardo, whom he married in 2013, and their blended family including daughters Rosé and Macy from his first marriage, and son Jackson with Sophie. Together they opened Salt Culture, a concept clothing and interior design boutique in Encinitas. Home remains Cardiff by the Sea, where Rob can often be spotted checking the surf in his 1973 Dodge Balboa van, what he calls his ultimate freedom vehicle. His mornings begin with an elaborate tea ritual, combining ginger, green tea, lemongrass, spearmint, turmeric, cayenne pepper, and honey. A small daily ceremony reflecting his thoughtful approach to life. "Style is the nucleus of surfing," Rob once said, expressing a philosophy that extends beyond wave riding. Whether designing furniture from reclaimed wood, growing his own food, or practicing yoga, Rob brings the same fluid grace to daily life that he displays on his surfboard. With his distinctive curly hair and laid-back demeanor, Rob might seem like the quintessential California surfer stereotype. But beneath that exterior lies a thoughtful environmental activist, a dedicated father, a successful entrepreneur with a net worth estimated between $6 to $15 million, and a principled man who walked away from conventional success to forge his own path. Rob's contributions to surfing have been formally recognized through his induction into the Huntington Beach Surfing Walk of Fame and the Surfers Hall of Fame. In 2011, the Surf Industry Manufacturers Association named him Waterman of the Year. Yet his true legacy extends far beyond these accolades. By pioneering the free surfer path, he opened doors for future generations like Dane Reynolds and Craig Anderson. His environmental leadership set standards for the industry long before sustainability became mainstream. His board designs continue to influence how everyday surfers experience waves. In recent years, Rob has collaborated on innovative projects like Fire on the Mountain, a film merging surfing, snowboarding, and skateboarding with the music of the Grateful Dead. He continues designing new board models, leading environmental initiatives, and occasionally appearing as a commentator at major surf competitions.
We are in Indonesia. I'm glowing. I'm gonna jump in the ocean now. Try not to get electrocuted.
His journey from competitive surfer to environmental activist, from traditional athlete to creative entrepreneur, reflects a life lived intentionally. When asked about vans with curtains being called pervert mobiles on social media, Rob responded with characteristic directness, "My van has curtains and they fucking rule." It's this authentic, unapologetic approach to life that continues to endear him to fans worldwide. The ocean taught Rob Machado its most profound lesson. True mastery isn't about domination, but about finding flow. In walking away from competitive surfing, he found something more valuable, a life authentic to his values, connected to nature, and dedicated to making a positive impact. Some champions are measured by trophies. Rob Machado's legacy is measured by waves of influence that continue spreading across generations, shaping how we surf and how we live.